That made a different sound.
Hello and welcome. We are back here in the Cluboratory at Miles of Golf. As always, I'm Luke. I'm joined by one of our expert club fitters, Matt Barno. Matt, what's up, man?
What's up, YouTube?
Matt is one of our resident Cobra staffers here at Miles of Golf, and the reason we're bringing him in here today is to talk about the latest and greatest line of drivers from Cobra. It is their DarkSpeed Adapt line. Building off I would say, a pretty successful line of DarkSpeed drivers. We see 3 of the same heads that they had from last year of an LS, a X, and a Max D. And then this year, we're seeing something completely new from Cobra. It is their Max K head. Kind of leaning into that whole 10K forgiveness that we are really starting to see take over, I would say, the driver market of this max forgiveness head, where they're not necessarily preaching speed behind it, but it's more of a, hey, this is going to hit the fairway. In the last, I would say, 2 years, Matt, what have you seen in here fitting with drivers that are talking about that 10K of like G430 and QI?
Yeah, one of the common things we've seen with just 10K overall, just in forgiveness, is maybe a little bit slightly slower ball speeds.
Okay.
However, but that ball's coming off that face very straight, very stable. And a lot of times for a lot of players, they just want to find the fairway. They don't really care about distance. They want to hit their next shot on the green, which is fair.
We want the first step to good golf is hitting the ball slightly straighter off the tee. Talking about like ball speed wise, the reason we might see something a little bit slower off the face of a driver that has more forgiveness is center of gravity is pulled way farther back in the driver, which again, some people, because of the more forgiving, they might gain some ball speed because they're getting better efficiency on it. They're getting that smash factor higher. But comparing 1-to-1 of a 10K driver versus a low spin driver that has the CG pushed way farther forward, ball speed technically would have a better chance of being higher on those less forgiving drivers, because the more forward you put CG, and the more, I mean, I don't know the scientific word to use here, but the more stopping power, I guess, like it's going to make contact a little bit harder and hopefully fly a little bit faster. Talking a little bit about changes from DarkSpeed into DarkSpeed Adapt. Obviously, they introduced a whole new driver head, which that's a massive change, introducing a new line into this driver. Some other changes we see from DarkSpeed being, one, in the 9-degree head in this Adapt series, they reconstructed the power bridge. They made it, for center of gravity purposes, lower, more forward for exactly what we're saying, better ball speeds. Maybe a little bit more low spin in those 9-degree heads for the people that might have a little bit more speed, want to keep spin down, more distance, all that fun stuff. Going into another, again, small change. Obviously, year to year, companies, they want you to be able to swing their driver faster. They're always working on the shape of the head to make it more aerodynamic. You can really see it when you set it down. I mean, it looks like something that wants to move fast. It has like all the good qualities that like F1 cars have. It looks sleek, it looks fast, it looks like, again, I want to hit this right now. It looks so cool. You can see it in terms of the aesthetics at the top. In DarkSpeed, I'll have some pictures on the screen. It's matte black. I've always loved matte black drivers, but you can't really see where the crown separates itself from the sole. It wraps around. That is different this time around. You can really see a plating up top that is very similar to what TaylorMade has had for the last couple of years, from I guess Sim on down, where you can see where the crown separates into the sole. Again, it's more of like an aesthetic change for them. Obviously, no change is done just for looks. There are different, again, aerodynamic benefits that they're going to see out of this design, but aesthetically, a change from the previous year. One final small change that we see in this line of drivers before we get to the biggest of them all is the hot face. Again, just with technology, we can always figure out where we need to improve things. With the hot face, again, they're just improving it for a little bit more flexion on the face for a little bit better ball speed. And just year over year, they're making the fine-tune adjustments where they see fit. And then the biggest change that we are going to see in this line from previous lines is a brand new adapter. It is their Future Fit 33 adapter. 33 different loft and lie combinations that can all be done independently of one another. Very similar to Titleist, what they've had pretty much forever. This is going to be a huge change in here in the fitting bays for someone like you, Matt, that's going to be standing behind that podium. What does this kind of excite you about to bring this into a customer's hands and say, hey, this is what we can do for you?
It really opens the door for a lot of options that a player may want, may need. There's a lot of things that I think is great with Titleist in terms of being able to go flat without changing loft. It's nice that there's another company out there that's doing so.
Yeah.
Not just Titleist. So
Matt said it opens the doors for us in here. A lot of times in fittings, I would always start with Titleist because of what I could do with the driver. Again, do we need to go flat? Do we need to go a little bit upright? Because changes like that on the head, it can change how a player makes contact. If you're always changing lie, if you're changing lie and it also changes loft or vice versa, that isn't gonna always, like, it's not just gonna be like, all right, hit this, it should work out, we need it to be a little bit more upright. I'm someone that I can't change loft on a driver. If I were to have a 10-degree head, but I wanted it to be 9 and I just took it down to 9, I can't find the center of the club face if I do that. So something like this where I'm making this driver flat, I've always loved having a flat setting on a driver, but I can still keep this loft at standard at 10.5, just how I want.
Exactly.
So that, again, it just opens the doors in here to be able to really custom fit this driver to a person and not have to make kind of minor compromises, we should say, along the way. It's going to give Cobra that step up in here of like, oh, we need to do this, but we shouldn't do that. I'm going to Cobra. I'm putting this in someone's hand like, hey, I can change lie and only lie on this. And just getting into fine specs, you can fine tune plus or minus 2 degrees in either direction for both loft and lie, which is incredible. The possibilities that we have, I would almost say are endless, but there's 33. We have 33 different possibilities we can do, which can sound overwhelming, especially just to a consumer. Like, I mean, I opened up this adjustable tip and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm looking at. But after like a couple seconds looking, they do make it very easy to digest and hear of like what changes you're making. But even if you, the viewer at home, is like, man, 33 combinations, I don't know what to set it at, that's what we're here for.
Correct.
That's why you come in here, you have someone like Matt watch you hit a couple of drives, like, all right, we're going to put this on C4, here, swing away, and you're going to watch yourself hit the fairway. Like I said, we have all 4 heads here today. We're hitting them all at 10.5 degrees. That's the loft we have. We have the Denali Blue 60 gram extra stiff, very close to what I play. I didn't have my exact shaft because we want to hit this brand new adapter. Again, I have it on the B4 setting, which is 1.4 degrees flat at the standard loft. Other than that, man, let's hit each of these, see what they do. Yeah. Little toe miss, tugged it a little bit. That's my miss right there. Is that kind of left going left guy?
Yeah, relatively. Spin did stay at 19.
That's good, because again, I caught that like high toe. That went dead left. Those are the ones you're concerned about dropping at to like 1,500, becoming unstable. So seeing it almost be 2,000 is really good. A high cut, slightly off the heel. What'd that spin jump up to?
We're almost at 21, 2,000 there.
Okay. And then I hit a shot like that. It's exactly what I want a driver to look like.
It's pretty good.
What are those numbers looking like for me?
So you're at almost 14, at 23. So probably more ideal numbers for you.
A little bit closer. That 27 number for me, always like, when I see it out there and I'm like, that looked good, whenever I look at TrackMan, it normally says like 26, 27. Oh, wow. I love everything about that.
It's 2 back-to-back, 165 ball speed.
It's about normal for this time of year for me.
Still at 2,000 though in your spin rate.
Yeah. Just a little too low for someone like me. Let's check out the just core model. Let's look at the X head now. So we got the X head now. Just setting it down. Like, this is my first time hitting any of these. Not a big change in terms of looks from the LS. I mean, it definitely has a slightly different look, I would say. You always know when you're looking at an LS head. It's just like a slightly different profile, more tour-like, which a lot of people like to look at. This is something that I can say setting it down I'm more comfortable looking at. I think it's just because I'm used to this, though. Yeah, that was a different window. For sure it was a different window. That looked amazing.
Frozen rope.
Yeah, it was. What'd that spin jump up to?
46.
Doubled it. Go TrackMan doubling it. So we're going to delete that one for numbers purposes, but you said it was 46?
Yeah.
So it was 23. Yeah. It was 2,300. Sometimes TrackMan's radar in the dark doesn't always pick up spin, or it will either cut spin rates in half or double them. So
Yes.
it's part of the beast. I'll be really curious to see what that low does, that like low on the face hit.
Only at 29.
That's really good. Again, for someone that likes to play this head, a more core model head, to miss it that low on the face, I almost missed that golf ball. That's getting to like 35, 36, 37. To see that stay under 3K, like how far did that go?
That still carried 272 in the air.
Yeah, come on,
In the
man.
air.
Come on, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They definitely have that Cobra feel to it, which feel is, again, so anecdotal. What I like in a driver might be different than what you like in a driver. It's firm. Like, it has that, I don't know if baseball bat feeling's the right word for it. You know what I'm getting at with it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's not soft, I should say, which a lot of people, that's what they're looking for. I mean, besides that one really low miss, I have not missed with this thing yet. And even that low miss was fine.
Yeah.
We just hit the X model. Now we're going into the brand new Max K. As someone that was very close to putting Ping 10K in the bag, very, 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 very excited to hit this right now and see what it does. Two things we're going to look at with this compared to the previous two models is one spin, I guess three things. One spin, two ball speed, and three, most importantly, how straight it's going. That's when you're looking at a model like this, is does it hit the fairway, does it not? It's pretty binary when it comes to that. This one, differences from ones in the past. This just has one weight in the, on the sole, pulled all the way back. It's very similar to X. It has the same placement in X in that back weight, but it just doesn't have that front weight. So I have this set opposite of X, where on the X model I had the 10 gram weight in the front, 3 gram weight in the back. This one just has a 10 gram weight in the back.
Initially looking down on it, how does it look?
It does look a little bigger. Again, it's tough one-to-one. It's not noticeable, but it doesn't look offensive. Like, it doesn't look like a super ultra forgiving driver meant to go straight. It looks good. Like, it looks good. Definitely higher. Slight tug, which if anything might happen with this. I mean, that's just my miss, but it didn't curve at all, really. Looks like it just went left and kept going left.
Yeah. Spin stayed relatively there at 28, so it didn't jump up.
I even fell off that one a little bit and it still went dead straight.
It's a good miss.
Great miss. Just catching him a little low on the face today. Just hitting a little too far up on it. That was low heel city, and it still did nothing. Dead straight.
It's going right where you're aiming.
I'd be curious to see what that spin was.
So that jumped up to 33.
Yeah. Which, at that launch, would that launch at like 10, 11?
12.
12?
Launched at 12.
A little higher than I thought from the look of it.
But
That's
again,
fine.
Curve is really miniature, though, with that one.
Which, again, that's what we're looking for with a driver like this. As long as it's not curving, we're in business. I'm going to try to go after this one, see what it does on like a big swing.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm not catching them the best right now. What was that ball speed?
So you got up to 164 on that one.
Yeah. It was just, I hit that really low heel. What was spin, though?
31.
Yeah, that's awesome.
31.
Because that was one I caught low on the face, swinging hard at it. That's usually a drive. That's going high. That's going way right, way too far right than I would want to see.
And I'll state this again. Curve is still at 16 feet. That's awesome.
Two big thumbs up from this guy over here.
That is awesome.
Two big thumbs up. Just one last one. I want to try to catch one of these in like the dead center and see what it does, ball speed wise. Oh yeah.
That made a different sound.
I caught that one.
Yep.
About as good can feel. What are we looking at there, Matty B?
Well, we kind of dispelled the ball speed. You got 171 there.
Yeah.
14 at 28. I mean, that's ideal as ideal.
That's perfect. What was that carry on that guy? I want to
So
hear.
you carried that one 302 in the air. In the air.
Who said I'm not hitting it far this time of year, man? All right, let's check out Max D. Our final competitor of the night, Max D. It has one 10-gram weight in the heel. This is for your golfer that struggles with the slice, primarily. One thing I like about these drivers compared to another driver that Cobra offers in their AirX, it's not to say one is better than the other. What this driver does that AirX doesn't for a consumer is give us fitters the opportunity for a player with a higher swing speed, the ability to get them a different shaft than what those stock AirX shafts are for. For a lot of golfers, they're great. That lightweight option is predominantly what a lot of golfers need. But you have your hockey players and your baseball players that come in here with a lot of speed that are getting into the game and have that over-the-top move. These are the drivers we can go to, especially with this loft sleeve option to get that a lot more upright. I think this is going to be real hot commodity in the fitting bays this year coming with this, with the ability to, again, shift weight in the in the heel, and then change the line angle with the hosel. I think this is going to be a weapon.
That'll be a game changer this year.
Again, I always say in videos, these drivers, it's not normally for me. We always have to put them on the test to see, hey, how's it going to perform? I do miss it in the heel. That's where I miss drivers. Having that extra weight behind there could help with ball speed a little bit on those misses, giving, again, that more stopping power behind that. So I'm curious. Yep. On command.
Well, if you got a hole that goes from right to left, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. It's going to go left. It's what this driver is meant to do.
It is designed to go left.
It's crazy, too. Like, in my dumb golfer brain, I see that happen. I go, why is that happening? It's like, oh, it's the driver. Like, immediately, like, what's my swing doing for it to go that way? Nope. It's how it's built. Yeah, I mean, that's a good ball with it. It's not as much left.
Yeah. It's true.
I think I'm learning the driver head a little bit, starting to like accommodate for it. I shouldn't do too many swings with this. I don't want to change my swing for a driver. Let's get one more good one. On this last one, I'm going to try to do like a slicey swing. See what happens. Yeah,
Oh, baby.
and I had a little 3-yard draw when I tried to slice it.
Oh, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as advertised, it'll help your slice. So conclusion time, we hit all 4 heads. Yet again, Cobra made an amazing line of drivers. It's not to say I wasn't expecting that before hitting them. I've almost played Cobra drivers the last couple of years. It's just been small, like slightly beat out by Titleist, but I'm a Titleist driver slappy, honestly. I'll be the first person to admit that. My first ever like real driver that I played playing competitive was a 909D comp. There's just a love for it that's hard for me to beat, but Cobra over these last few years have made it very hard for me to stick with that. Hitting these drivers, specifically the Max K, I'm going to be curious to see how the numbers stack up to each other. Extremely, extremely, extremely impressed. They all did exactly what they were supposed to do in terms of flight, in terms of curvature. As we start to look through the numbers, kind of walk me through LS down to Max D. What was each of like the main numbers of like launch angle, spin, all of that?
Yeah, so with LS, you hit it pretty good. We're launching pretty much at 15, spinning at 21. Pretty straight more often than not. Had a few out to the left, few out to the right.
Which with an LS head, if anything, talking about misses, the one thing, a good thing with LS is for someone that's high spin to keep spin down. The con to that is with CG pushed farther forward, you're going to see it going a little bit left and a little bit right, if anything, as a miss, which I want my miss to do one thing. So right off the bat, as we were hitting, I was like, yeah, this driver's probably not for me.
And as we go into the X head here, we are launching that one a little bit touch higher, not kind of the same, at 12.7. Spin did go up to 3,000, and that one was a lot more tighter for you, actually.
Yeah.
A lot more tighter.
I missed a couple of those on like the lower part of the face. I don't know, it was just the swings at that part of the day. But to only see it at 3,000 is great. Again, I said at the beginning of the video, I like 26, 27. That's my like sweet spot. So to see 3, again, that's something where I can maybe go to that 9-degree model as opposed to 10.5. I could probably see that drop down a little bit. Again, we did all these testings with 10.5, but overall not concerned with that. That's good numbers for me to see with that guy.
So the one that I think we're both interested to see is the Max K. You launched that one at 13.6. You spun it at 3,000. And I think the big point that we both enjoy is the curvature at 13 feet and relatively with the difference at 37 feet, you're looking at 10, 11 yards, give or take, in any given direction, which is huge.
Yeah, that's hitting every single fairway. And then go back through and run me through ball speed of those first 3 before we go into Max D.
So with LS, we had 1.647. With the X head, we had 1.639. With the Max K, actually, you got at 1.65. Now, that's because club head speed was a little bit more, too. I think maybe just getting a little bit more warm out here.
Yeah, I was in the third driver of the day. And I did do that last swing where I really gave it about everything I had, about everything that I can swing at this part of the year when it's 40 degrees outside. And then let's go into Max D. Let's see. I mean, we both saw it. It was flying left. It's supposed to, but let's see what that launch and spun at.
Yeah, so we're launching it at 14.6, and we're spinning it around 2,900, so kind of what it's meant to do.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's designed to go left, and we did see it go left, so that's a great thing for us to see.
Yep. This is not a driver I was expecting to hit a cut with.
Right.
Start off with that. Kind of listening to you go through all those numbers, what impressed me the most going from head-to-head is spin. LS being that low, good, check the box. That's supposed to do that. That's where the guy that has trouble keeping spin, a guy that has a lot of speed, it's like, hey man, I can't keep spin under 3,500. It's like, cool, let's grab Cobra, LS, 9-degree, put that in your hands. It's gonna go low. We're gonna get that into the window that golfer wants. But seeing the X head, Max K, and Max D all within 100 RPMs of spin.
Yes.
That's amazing to know that, like, hey, we're not going to set, like, with a Max D head, like a draw bias head, normally, if anything, higher spinning models with how they're built, it's so good to see that stay at 2,900 because, again, for most golfers that slice it, over the top, open face, to know that we're still going to potentially keep that spin in a window that a golfer can maximize distance, again, check the box, awesome. Yet again, Cobra impressed me with these drivers, which, I mean, who am I to say? Like, of course, those engineers know what they're doing. They're not going to release a product if it's not meant to do what it's supposed to do. This loft sleeve, I think, is really going to be the game changer coming through it. In this flat setting that I was able to put it in, for my left miss, I barely saw. The only time I really saw that left miss was with the Max D, which I'm supposed to see that. I cannot wait for you to be able to put this in customers' hands and kind of play Magic Man with it. Like, let's tweak a little bit here, let's tweak a little bit there. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. It's awesome seeing people actually watch these videos. It's really cool. Drop a comment below. Give us an idea of stuff you want us to film. Video production this time of year in Michigan when we can't get out on the golf course. It's going to ramp up a little bit. Hopefully film a lot more videos here in the future. Other than that, I'm Luke.
I'm Matt.
See you guys.